Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the wonderful Lord of the Rings Habitat Part 2. Yeah, it's been over 2 weeks now since the first part dropped, and as I said, I was waiting for a first little idea if there will be a DLC and what the DLC got in common for us or in the pockets for us. So I decided to finish off this habitat now because I don't see there being anything in there. I know we still don't really know exactly what this DLC will be like, but we definitely do know that there is something rainforest going on in that kind of way, and we're not really sure if there is something usable for that build over here. So I definitely thought, okay, we have everything in game now what I need, and there is not really that kind of super fitting theme coming that will completely change the way I have built this year. So we are going to build Isengard today. I really hope that this is the English pronunciation. In German it's Isengard, but I have no idea if it's Isengard or Isengard. I have no idea, because sometimes, especially in Tolkien, the names are not literally translated in the kind of pronunciation way you would do it in the native language. It's more like the idea that would go from Middle Earth and how they would kind of have the medieval pronunciation, I guess. So this is why I'm quite confused about what it could be and whatnot. However, today's episode will be about the build of this wonderful tower over here, and I guess you all know how this one is called. So it is Barad-dûr, and I hope I can't, again, pronounce that correctly. I'm quite certain I didn't, but anyways. So it's going to be this one tower, the one with the Eye of Saruman in the top part of it. Now it's going to be very interesting how this is going to look and how this is going to be turning out, because again, we don't really have that many pieces in the game that can be used. I have to say I'm quite happy with what it is going to be, because you have seen that hopefully from the thumbnail already, that this is going to look somewhat believable, and I think that's the only thing I can go for, making it look believable at this point in time, because there are a lot of pieces missing as of now, from times of Planko, where I really was certain how this could go and how this could look. I needed to be a bit more creative in terms of how I used the pieces, and I was testing a lot of stuff here, trying to use many different pieces, whether they be recallable or whether they be just in the right color. I was searching my ass off to say it, to find pieces that can be used in a way that this kind of looks good. And as you can see, I was testing this thing, even with things like the gutters, because you could make them less glowy and less shiny, so that kind of worked out as well. And I did a lot of lighting at the end, so I needed to have some pieces that are not as reflective, even though the gutters should be. But if you tone these colors down, it doesn't do it. So that's kind of good. But yeah, you can see I was trying to get as many little elements in as I could, what you do know from Barad-dûr. However, obviously, size-wise and proportion-wise, this tower is like a million times too small. But again, this is a movie habitat, and movie habitat does not mean that I'm going to rebuild things one by one. This is not the idea. The idea is to build something that gives you the feeling of the movie, and this which could be in a super crazy zoo with unlimited money and unlimited possibilities, could build it realistically. That's kind of the idea. So yes, I totally understand that this is for everyone who's seeking for AZA compatible habitats, that this is nothing you want to watch, and this is nothing you should be here for, because that's simply not what I was trying to do here. Okay, so for all of you guys who want to see this, make sure to check out some other elements and other videos I did, because they are a lot more compatible, which are a bit more realistic, I should say. But this one over here is purely for the fun and purely for the emotion and purely for me being a nerd and wanting to do something creative off, completely off the grid, and something completely different, and that's why I had the idea to build it the way it is right now. You can see it really took me ages to build this tower, and I was testing so many things, but I can already tell you it was so worth it. It was so damn worth it. I kind of created a building in this game which looks like nothing else and like nothing that has been done before, and that's exactly what I wanted to create. And yeah, it was a struggle, but it kind of is exactly what I love about this game, or in general these games, these creative games so much, and it's kind of the reward you get at the end. It's the relief, it's the feeling of you having achieved something that you didn't think was even possible at the beginning. And I can only recommend, if you guys are having ideas, just try to make them. Just go in, tweak it, do it a few more times until you are happy, and then just go further and try to expand the idea, try to improve yourself by building and by testing various things, and yeah, also by kind of increasing the challenges, you know. One thing is definitely for certain: the entire right hand side of this habitat, so the entire building, the Shire, is like 10 times easier than this tower alone. Like it's the way it is, you know. The Shire is something beautiful, and I think it's not easy to hit the right feeling, but it's definitely not as hard as building this tower, which at the same time needs to be believable in the game, which needs to have a certain pathfinding element in here, and kind of size-wise it has to fit the different mechanics of the game. But at the same time, I wanted to make this tower look good, not as repetitive, because as you can see, I was building a second element here that is moved into the building, as you can see, to make it less repetitive. Because if I copied it around the whole time with the rotation trick, it got a lot more, how do I call it? It's getting repetitive, yes, but even too repetitive. It kind of looked a bit too blocky, and so I was building a little bit of, let's say, negative impact. I think I want to call it that way. I was building something that is against the parallelism of this building. It's against the very, very straightforward build, and against the copy mechanism, because I simply decided that this is looking a lot better, and not focus too much on making it inch perfectly seamless, nice rotated building, which it isn't. You know, it has different layers. It has to be different, because it needs to give you a certain interest, and when you look at it, it should be interesting, and your eye starts to, or your brain starts to work as soon as there is something that is kind of destroying the parallelism of it. You know, the eye always seeks for the perfect parallelism and the perfect kind of seamless thing, but as soon as there's a little bit of difference in there, your brain starts to work and you find this interesting, and that's what I wanted to do. Yeah, now we get into the most important part of this building, which is the top part, and god, this gave me a struggle. This gave me such a struggle to make that look good, but I'm happy to say that I managed to build a really nice looking thing, and we're even building the Eye of Saruman at the end, which I didn't want to do, because I had the fear it looks a bit too comic-y, but I have to say I managed to do it in a way that I'm happy with it. By the way, at the end we will not have cinematics, we will have a little bit of a real-time part, simply because I want to show you this build in its full glory, and cinematics are not as revealing. They are not showing the full glory of it. Also, animals are in, so maybe I'm doing some cinematics for the very end of this episode, but for the major part of the showcase will be definitely the real-time part, because it just shows the whole thing better off than just having the cinematics. But surely you can make a lot of nice cinematics. Yeah, I was doing some little bits and pieces here and there to make sure that this gets a bit more details in, and then obviously I did something very important, and this is going to be the shelter for the spotted hyenas, because the spotted hyenas are going to be the inhabitants of that habitat. Yes, I know it might be a bit too cliche, but I just like the idea of having the hyenas in here, because I think they are the only fitting animals. Surely I could have gone also with lions, but the Planet Zoo lions are too friendly, too nice looking, I guess, for me. And so I think the only valid habitat animal that could go in here is the spotted hyena. And I guess that's only the animal that does work. Yeah, unfortunately I lost a little bit of footage, so that's why most of the building of the Orc Factory is unfortunately cut out. I'm so sorry for that, because I like this quite a bit, and I have some cool little tricks and bits used in there so to make it look good, but I will show this in the real-time part. Anyways, the thing is, my hard drive was full and I deleted some old recordings, and for whatever reason, unfortunately, I exactly hit that one recording, because I don't record this in one go, you know. I do it whenever there's time, and I jump from Yosemite to this, and then there is Koala Zoo, and then there is City Skylines, and there's Planet Coaster. So I'm not like not playing this you know, in one go. Sometimes there's even like a week or two in between where I'm not playing this one save game, and yeah, so that's why I unfortunately hit the wrong key, so to say, and delete the wrong file. But well, that's the way it is. You know, there's nothing I can do about it. But yeah, the rest of it will be now just making this area look finished, and also preparing it for being a habitat, making Isengard look like Isengard in a way, so to have the star form as much as I could, you know, start at the star form so that you can get a glimpse of it, but I didn't want to build obviously the whole star form, because I didn't feel that would pay this whole thing justice. Now, yeah, you can see there is a whole bit going on, different things I brought in to make these little Orc Factory style done, but yeah. Now the rest of the time lapse I will leave you alone with a little bit of music and my fast moving images, you know, in the background, and then we'll meet again in approximately 4 minutes to the real time part. Until then, enjoy the time lapse, and I'm gonna see you on the other side of the cut. So here we are in game, everyone, and this is the finished habitat. Let me just move up a little bit so you can see it in its full glory. This is the Lord of the Rings habitat, and yeah, I'm quite proud of it, I have to say. I have to admit that I'm super proud because it really worked out exactly the way I wanted it. There are two downsides. I couldn't do anything about it. Is first of all, we need to have this gate in between, or not gate, but this it's more like this chain link fence in the middle, because otherwise the animals could just easily swim over. I tried doing that in off screen with putting some rocks in the middle, but honestly that looked so bad that I decided to just go with it the way it is. We can actually also, you could also think about maybe changing it into glass. Maybe looks, no, it looks the same. I think it looks even better having it that way. Anyhows. The habitats work, however the animals are constantly complaining about everything, mainly because the animals don't really go nicely into the habitats. The keepers have a hard time filling their jobs, but I think, it's for the looks of it, and there is, like, the entrance is over here, and there are a few keepers in here, but, to make it actually a bit better, you would definitely put, like, a backstage area here with a lot of keeper huts and stuff, so they come in earlier and quicker and whatever. But I'm just hoping that all the improvements from the new update are also helping with. I mean, look at just look at that. Just look at freaking that. This is, oh god, I just love how this turned out. I mean, with Barad-dûr here standing as it is, and then having just like the different views you can have, and also, where are the animals? Let me just have a look. Where are some of the animals are, because they're using it all very nicely indeed. Oh, look at that. There is a little doll sheep running around. Obviously they're all too hot in here in this habitat, but yeah, that's what it is. You cannot do too much about it. And then we have the hyenas on this hand side mating with each other, but then having also, look, I mean, just like, look at that. I love the hyenas being in here, because that's just like it really fits. It really fits. Hyenas fit absolutely with this habitat. I don't know why exactly, but it just does fit. And you can look at, I mean, oh god, the views are just so good. I'm going to show you in a bit also how this looks at night. This is, by the way, the waterfall I made, because that should be resembling of the movie when there is this big water. The dam is breaking, and then Isengard is going to be flooded, and the trees, the moving trees, which I forgot the name of, yeah, is kind of exactly what I wanted to do. So yeah, I don't know, I'm even speechless now to talk about this, because honestly there was so much work, and it's just so good to see how it turned out, and yeah, it's just really rewarding to look at it. However, let's turn it into nighttime, because that looks actually super cool as well. There we go. So this is nighttime. There we go. It's getting darker, and as you can see, this lighting just makes it nuts. And look at the eye. Look at that. It worked out way better than expected. You can like move around like this, and then you have the eye really glowing over the entire habitat, and having the reddish light down here with all the lava, and where they're building the orcs. Well, in our imagination, because obviously in here they don't do it. Let me just show you what I built here, because it wasn't in a time lapse. So I made these Orc Factories. I quite tried to make it a little bit nice looking. It's, I didn't pay too much attention to every single detail, mainly because I didn't want to overdo it. And yeah, you can see there is some boring looking, but it's kind of the magma field over here. And yeah, I could have done this like a million times better. We have some ovens as well, but I think it sells the idea, and that's what I wanted to do. It sells the idea. When you look in here, you have these things, and the main part of the habitat is the above area anyways, and also the view to Barad-dûr is what I wanted to achieve here. It's kind of the same as on this side, where I didn't do all the interiors and mainly only did this interior over here. I'm wondering though, are people actually going here? Not really going here, because I think they haven't really seen that this is where they can see the animals even better. This is also why I would love to have some vista points. Oh, we got a baby. But yeah, so the guests don't really decide to go in. Oh wait, they are going in. Let's quickly see if they... Wait. Okay. So they're running away from the animals, it seems. Oh, I did not know that. Why would they be afraid? Why would they be afraid of a doll sheep or of a peafowl? That's quite interesting. Are they seeing it? Okay. I'm a bit confused why that is the way it is. But anyways, so it seems doll sheep's. Okay, weird things happening here. Weird things happening. Okay, it's interesting. I thought they would use it. I mean, it would be easy to fix. You know, we could just make it like a gate here, like a fence here and a fence here, and then people would still go in. I'm not going to tackle that right now. This should only be like a little showcase, and yeah, this is how it looks, guys. This is the finished Lord of the Rings habitat, and I have to say, well, judging it against the Planet of the Apes and the Star Wars one, this is by far my favorite. This is my favorite one yet, I have to say. So what's your opinion? Which one did you like most? The Star Wars one, or the Planet of the Apes one, or is it this one? Let me know in the comments down below your feedback. Do you like Barad-dûr? And yeah, do you like Isengard? Is this the favorite location? Tell me what's your favorite location, by the way, of Lord of the Rings, of all 3 movies. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next one, which is hopefully going to be something surprising for you. I have already something in mind. I browsed through all of your ideas lately, and I gotta say there are some cool ideas in there, and I'm really happy to realize something that you guys hopefully will be happy with in the future. But as of now, that's been it. I hope you enjoyed, and I'm gonna see you in the next one.